Today's talk, God talks with Arjuna, the Bhagavad Gita, Royal Science of God Realization, the immortal dialogue between soul and spirit, a new translation and commentary by Sri Paramahansa Yogananda. Page number 493, chapter 4, verse 28. Verses. Other devotees offer as oblations wealth, self-discipline, and methods of yoga, while other individuals, self-control and keeping strict vows, offers as sacrifices the study of self and the acquirement of scriptural wisdom. The stanza contains the enumeration of various types of devotees whose particular disciplines constitute spiritual fire ceremonies. When we analyze the work of devotees, their functions are different. What is the ultimate function is specified in this verse. Some devotees properly use their wealth or other material resources to help others as an offering to the spirit. Some people, one example is Travancore royal family. They have given all the wealth to the Padmanabha temple and they have surrendered. Likewise, ascetic possession, self-control and deep resolve consider their austeries as oblations. Some rigidly observe spiritual vows and various do's and do-nots of self-disciplinism. And some will do pujas, mantras, and some people will be vegetarian and they will put some principles and they follow it. And certain types of sadhus sit from morning till sundown under the sun, others while chanting. Some do throughout meditations. Some go on chanting mantras. Immerse their bodies to the neck in cold water and in cold water for several hours. Or practice meditation in extreme cold or heat. Some devotees try to control the sense of greed by mixing together cold, hot, sweet and sour foods. Eating this conglomeration while practicing mental alphaveness from the sense of taste. Since all food becomes one in the stomach, they say why not mix them together before they reach the stomach. Thus one may nourish the body without catering to the sensation of greed. In spite of this reasonable counsel, one hardly expects this particular austerity to become common. Eating food and having it a desire for it. Self-disciplinaries practice truth speaking, and what does a true person do? He will do truth speaking and he will be calm. For him there will be no anger, there is no good or bad, and sweetness to all even under provocation, and he will be sweet under all provocation. They do not steal or indulge in any wrongful that is expressly forbidden by the scripture. They will not steal or indulge in any wrongdoings. It's not at all stealing. Even thinking bad of another person is also stealing. Such person are the high moralists found in all religions. In all religion it is there. Their minds sometimes become more enwrapped in rightness than in God. See, they go on telling that different conditions, 7 principles, 8 principles, 18 steps and all. And they're least concerned about God. They derive such sentimentation satisfaction from travel on the spiritual path, and they lose sight of God realization as their destination. End of the day, they forget the purpose of God realization. They are doing something like they are studying in a school and they are following some principles and they say that they are on the path of God. Absolute wrong. However, those who persistently and intelligently practice austeries motivated by great devotion for God find the oblations of their self-discipline ultimately help them to unite with the cosmic fire of spirit. All these basic conditions are required for the initial aspirants, but later it is not needed. Other devotees follow the eightfold path of yoga, and some follow the eightfold path of yoga. What is neutralizing the scintillations of feeling, chitta, so that in its clear waters they can see the undistorted reflection of the moon of the soul. If the water is clean, then they can watch the soul of moon as quiet. Such yogis observe the do's and do nots of self-discipline, yama niyama, but they go further. They are not stuck to the yama niyama. They will go further. They practice body control by postures, by asanas, in order to make the body amenable to their wills, able to sit quietly during long hours of meditation and protracted ecstasy. The yogi then assumes any correct posture and practices life force control, pranayama, by a technique such as Kriya Yoga. And Kriya Yoga is one yoga path given by the great Balaji. With this technique, he disconnects his mind from body consciousness by switching off the life current from the senses and unites mind and life force with superconsciousness in the spine and brain. He thus reaches the state of true internalization or withdrawal of the mind and the life force from the senses. The example is common, the story of the tortoise, which it puts its head outside only for essential needs. Likewise, we should withdraw from the five senses and reach the ultimate. After the yogi becomes wrong in body and mind by self-discipline, posture, life control and internalization of consciousness, he, he devotes his newly mastered mind and mind of concentration on the indefinite. Samayana, Dharma, Dhyana and Samadhi, conceiving spirit as the cosmic Om vibration. Not satisfied with listening to the Om vibration, he he begins to expand with it, feeling the vibration not only in his own body but in the vast cosmos. See, whatever change is happening is not happening to us also, it will spread to the world. The yogi is then able to attain the ecstasy of oneness with God, vibrating in the universe as cosmic soul or cosmic light, the Holy Ghost vibration. Inherent in this vibration, he finds the Krishna or Christ consciousness, and through that he merges with the Lord. That is the way we merge with the consciousness, either it be Christ conscious, Krishna conscious, Allah conscious, or whatever. By following the do's and do nots of the moral code, by posture, life control, internalization of the mind, meditation, concentration of attention, cosmic conception of God, and ecstasy, the self of man can be united with the spirit. The purpose is to be united with the spirit. Practice of the eightfold yoga dissolves the waves of likes and dislikes. That is the important thing. We will not like or dislike anything. We will not find right and wrong with anything because ultimately there is no two. The desire that infests the intuitive feeling of chitta, heart. When the waters of chitta are free from waves of sensations, thoughts, likes and dislikes, the clear waters of intuition reflect the soul as a perfect image of the spirit moon. Then the yogi unites his soul, reflected in the calm heart, with the actual source, the moon of omnipresent spirit. The spirit is present everywhere. Unfortunately, our five senses is the hindrance for it. Another true devotee seeking an understanding of himself and his relationship to God and the universe reads scriptural wisdom. Some people read scriptural wisdom, meditates on it with self-controlled, absorbed mind, and strictly apply the scriptural injunctions in his daily life. And he follows everything in the, say for example, J. Krishnamurti is at the feet of Master. It says desirelessness. It says control of the body. It says love, discrimination. This will be followed in the initial stage. Thus he gradually learns to offer the oblation of his self-study and intuitive scriptural knowledge into the fire of spirit. It is not the intellectual walking scriptural dictionary who knows the wisdom of the prophets. It is rather than the man of meditation and application of scriptural knowledge in every day. That is the important thing. Theory is good, but it is like saying in At the Bit of Master, in the preface, Annie Besant says that it is like having the food before us and not eating it. Knowledge of the scriptures is beneficial only when it stimulates a desire for practical realization. Even this path of spirituality will lead us to a desire. Otherwise, theoretical knowledge gives us a false convention. This theoretical knowledge will give us a false convention. We think that we know everything, and that is ego. Unrealized knowledge of scriptures may thus become a detriment to the practical realization of spiritual truth. This is happening around us. Little knowledge is dangerous. Some people read some book and they say that is the ultimate reality, and you need not read anything, you need not learn anything. That is utter false. But when theoretical spiritual knowledge is continuously converted into inner perception of wisdom, the word in the book has nothing to do. That knowledge is a source of redemption. Many pundits and learned professors, for all their mental acumen, daily demonstrate by their uncontrolled lives their failure to put philosophy any practical. This is 99% around us. If we closely watch, they say everything. They say Samskrita, they say every slogas by heart. And in practically, they are not following anything. They themselves say this is difficult. Actually, this is not difficult. A man without spiritual knowledge or inner realization is sadly ignorant. He is ignorant. Inner realization is the ignorance we have. We know all the knowledge, but of no use. A man with a theoretical knowledge of scriptures but without self realization is like a man who eats much food but cannot digest it. That is true. That is why JK says freedom from known. We have to give up all the knowledge one day. The man with divine realization, even if lacking spiritual knowledge, a person will not have a spiritual knowledge. But if he is doing the ultimate spirituality, you see a common man, he doesn't know Bible, he doesn't know Gita, he doesn't know Quran, but he is really spiritual. And imagine people who know all this knowledge and are not following it. A man possessing both spiritual knowledge and self-realization has not only attained God, but is an admirable teacher for imparting God conscious to others. Here, if a person realizes the theoretical and if he is able to practice, then he is the messenger of the God and he can impart God consciousness to the others. My Guru never permitted his disciple to read the stanzas of Bhagavad Gita or Patanjali with a mere theoretical interest. Meditate on the scriptural truth until you become one with them. It always says it's not reading the whole book. You need not read a sentence of a book, at least one word in a lifetime. You will progress. He would say, after I had mastered a few scripture stanzas in that deeply perceptive way under his tutelage, he refused to teach me further. And once if he is not absorbed, then his master will not teach the lesson. You will see, you said, that you now possess a true key to scriptures, a key of inward intuitive perception rather than a mere reason and conjure. All scriptures will open their secret to you. This is the object of theosophical, second object of Theosophical Society, which says, comparative, you learn everything. The essence is one. See, here he had to admit, it's not the Bhagavad Gita, it's not the Quran, Bible, Buddhism, you name anything, the essence is same. It is like a honeybee taking honey from all flowers. Unfortunately, we quarrel saying religion, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, and all kind of rotten things. Reading Patanjali or the Gita or the Bible with no more than intellectual insight may enable a man to pass examination. Reading all, you can pass examination, you can take PhD, you can become a professor, and you can become a spiritual speaker on them brilliantly, but will not provide an infallible access to true meaning. But that doesn't lead to true meaning. The kernels of truth, the spiritual saying, are covered by the hard shell of language and ambiguity. This language and this scholarism is taking away from this path. Through the help of a guru, one learns how to use the nutcracker of intuitive perception to open the verbal shells and obtain the divine meet within. To know the divinity in man, through the help of a guru, one learns this. Thank you.